right, everyone, settle in. Roll cameras. And action! I want full steam from the locomotive as it crosses the bridge.
So there's this tiny microchip that promises to end one of the most frustrating debates in rugby, like, forever. But here's the thing. In an age where sports are packed with tech, why is this amazing solution still kind of sitting on the sidelines? Yeah, we're talking about the Smartball. And trust me, the reasons it's not in every single game, well, they're way more complex than you'd think.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Because every rugby fan knows this feeling, right? That pit in your stomach. Your team's on the attack, the final pass goes out wide, the try is scored, and then you hear it, the whistle. The ref signals for a review, and for the next what feels like an eternity, you're just stuck watching these endless, super inconclusive replays.
And that's when everyone asks the same question. Whether you're in the stadium or yelling at your TV at home, why are we still debating forward passes? I mean, seriously, we've got VAR, we've got goal line technology in other sports. How can a call that can literally decide a championship still feel like, I don't know, a subjective guess? So enter the Smartball. This is supposed to be the solution, right? It was developed by Gilbert and Sportable, and basically it has this little microchip inside that tracks the ball in 3D space. It's constantly sending out this stream of totally objective data. So in theory, it can tell the officials instantly and with no doubt if a pass went forward. It's the tech savior we've all been waiting for. Or is it?
And that right there brings us to the big question of the day. If this game-changing tech actually exists, why isn't it being used in every single URC club match? Why wasn't it there last season? Well, the answer, it's not simple. It's actually a really complex puzzle involving money, competing priorities, and yeah, even a bit of human nature. Okay, so the first piece of this puzzle is probably the most obvious one. As with, pretty much any new innovation, you just gotta follow the money. Yeah, to put it bluntly, this tech is just really expensive. And we're not just talking about the cost of the ball itself. You need special sensors all around the stadium. You need the whole support system to actually run it. So for a league where you have clubs with all different levels of financial backing, a full universal rollout, that is a massive investment. And frankly, not every club can afford it. And this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of the problem. It's being called a premium implementation. So what does that mean? It means the tech is being treated less like a standard tool to make the game fair and more like a luxury feature. Something you reserve for the biggest events. Think a World Cup final, not your average club match on a Friday night. So what you end up with is this kind of two-tiered system in the sport. At the very top, the international level, the refs have access to these super precise, data-driven tools. But then you go down to the club level, where most of the rugby is actually played, and it's back to just using the naked eye. It creates this huge technology gap, and it's all because of money. But as you can probably guess, that's not the whole story. See, it's not just about what the leagues can afford. It's also about what they choose to spend their money on. Because even if you had an open checkbook, the Smartball has some serious competition. You have to remember, the Smartball isn't the only new gadget on the block. Rugby is seeing this huge explosion of new tech, and all of it is competing for the same limited slice of the budget. A perfect example is South Africa. Officials there had to make a really conscious choice, and they decided the Smartball had to wait. So this table here really lays out the dilemma they're facing. On one hand, you've got the Smartball, which promises better officiating accuracy. But competing for that same cash, you have these sensor-embedded mouthguards designed to track head impacts and boost player safety, and that is a huge priority right now. And then you've also got these new AI crowd cams to make the fan experience better. It's a tough choice. So all of a sudden, this isn't just about money anymore. It's a question of values. What is more important right now? Getting every forward pass call perfect, or protecting players from concussions? Or maybe it's about creating a more exciting show for the fans who pay to watch. There is just no easy answer to that. But hold on, there is one final and I think really fascinating piece to this whole puzzle. And this one has nothing to do with money or other tech. It has everything to do with the data itself. And it starts with this question. Can you actually have too much information? It sounds like a weird thing to ask, but in the middle of a high-pressure pro-rugby match, the answer might just be yes. I mean, just think about the TMO, the television match official. That person is already trying to juggle like a dozen different camera angles while talking to the ref on the field. And that's a major concern for World Rugby. How do you give this brand new, super fast stream of data from the Smartball to an official without, grinding the game to a halt or causing analysis paralysis? The whole point is to help them make decisions, not to make their job even more complicated. So that explains why they're being so careful and deliberate about this. Before the Smartball can become standard, they need to run tons of trials. They have to analyze this mountain of data they're collecting, and this is the most important part, they have to figure out the best way to give this info to an official so it doesn't mess up the flow of the game. Because at the end of the day, rolling this out badly could be way worse than not rolling it out at all. The tech has to be seamless, it has to be fair, and it has to actually make the game faster, not slower. It needs to check all those boxes before it's ever going to get a universal green light. All right, so where does that leave us? We've basically untangled the 3 big reasons why the Smartball isn't already a part of every single match. So to sum it all up, the whole mystery of the missing Smartball really comes down to 3 main barriers. First, the high cost. It just makes it a premium luxury item for now. Second, the tough competition from other important tech, especially stuff focused on player safety. And finally, there's the human challenge. How do you actually integrate all this new data without totally overwhelming the officials? And all this leaves us with a really fascinating final thought. The Smartball proves that we can get perfect, objective answers to these tricky calls. But its slow, careful journey to the pitch shows us that just because we can do something with technology, it doesn't always mean we should, at least not right away. So the real question for the future isn't just about what the tech can do. It's about what we, as fans and custodians of the game, are willing to trade to get it.